This mountain, that mountain. Hello and welcome to episode 332 of Namaste Yoga. Thank you so much for welcoming me into your home as we journey into our innermost home over the next hour. Today we are finishing our Awakening Your True Self series. It's been a 24 class series. We started it in December of 2015, 6 months ago. So it's been a long series and so welcome to the end of the series. It's the final class, and there's been sort of like 3 mini series within the series. And this is the final class of the 6 Paramitas. And this class is on the Paramita, Prajna Paramita, which means the perfection of wisdom. I'm going to get you started in Heartbed posture today. So you will need a meditation cushion or a chair for today's class for our seated meditation, and you'll need a bolster and a block. And so you can see I've got my block underneath my bolster so that the bolster is elevated slightly, and then you're going to rest back over the bolster for your first posture, and also just as I go through all our regular openings for the class. So you'll just rest back like this in Heartbed with your arms out to the side. So we are here in Victoria, BC. We are on a beach in Oak Bay today, a gorgeous beach, and I will just apologize in advance for the conditions. This is our final destination, but we did search around for a good location today, but this was sort of the best we could do. It's not the best conditions for filming. It's full-on sunlight, but it's cold here today and it's incredibly windy. We drove around trying to find shelter, but there's many challenges with outdoor filming. That is noise pollution with construction, and then lawnmowers and machinery. And then on sunny days you have to go in shade, and then it can be very cold. So today it's already cold. It's already 10 degrees Celsius, which is actually a fine temperature for filming. But then when you get in the shade, it goes down to 5 Celsius. So that's just too cold. So not sorry for the conditions, but I think it'll still be a good show. Okay, so thank you to Squeezed and Dusky Leaf. Today, thanks to Squeezed, I'm wearing long navy leggings, and I have on the new hoodie. This Squeezed hoodie has the Tree of Life design on the front of it. It has a hoodie that's lined. It has beautiful serge stitching all around the sleeves and the base of the hem. So it's really nice, and it's a more relaxed fit. It sits away from your body, so very nice design. And I have a testimonial for you today from Sharon from Facebook. She says, I'm a secondary school teacher from New Zealand who doesn't normally post comments on Facebook pages like this. However, I wanted to thank you. I've been reflecting on ways to maintain balance and clarity after 10 years in a very hectic classroom with a 3 and 7-year-old. I begin each term positive and organized, only to spiral downwards through tiredness and stress over the next 10 weeks. I felt deeply that I needed to find my way to something that would provide me with physical strength and flexibility as well as mental and spiritual health too. I've toyed with the idea of yoga, but been put off by the media's representation. I'm so glad that a Google search turned up your name. I have just completed Yoga for Beginners, episode 101, and intend to continue. Thank you. So thank you, Sharon, for such a beautiful testimonial. And I appreciate each and every one of you who take the time to leave your testimonials on Facebook, on YouTube, on my website, in our membership community, and in SpeakPipe and Instagram. We love hearing from you, and we appreciate the time you take to leave your testimonials. Okay, we're going to bring this together now with a mantra to create peace between us as student and teacher. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinya Vadetamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So those words mean protect us together, student and teacher. May our studies nourish us together. May we work together for the union, for the good of all. May our learning be luminous and purposeful. May we live in harmony. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. So this Heartbed meditation opens your heart to the absolute compassion and emptiness. And those two are one and the same for Prajna Paramita, the perfection of wisdom. So you can think about this heart-opening posture here, emptying you out, the boundlessness of compassion emptying you out, opening you up and emptying you out. And take a deep breath in, and on your breath out, allow yourself to be emptied out. Bend your knees, roll to your side, and roll off your heartbed. And then you're going to come and put your bolster and your block off to the side, and lie down on your back. And on your back, you'll cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh and draw your right knee in towards your chest with your right knee fully bent. Reach through the keyhole and hold on to the back of your right leg. So we're just doing this pose, this keyhole stretch here to prepare you for one of our standing postures that we're going to do today. And then release your right leg down, uncross your left leg, Place your left foot on the ground and then cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. Open your right knee out to the side. And then slowly draw your left leg in, keeping your left leg fully bent. You'll reach your right hand through the space and hold on the back of your left leg. Use your elbow to open up your right leg. You could also use a strap here behind your left leg. And feel that stretch into your outer thigh and glutes here. And then release your left leg down. Uncross your legs and roll to your side. Come onto all fours. So on all fours, we're going to start in child's pose. So this is a vinyasa for generosity. And this is the first paramita. And the idea is that it includes the paramita of wisdom and the wisdom of emptiness. So we're doing it as a flow because generosity should flow in a way that you are continually allowing your generosity to flow with you so that you're continually offering what you have to others. So it's like you're emptying what you have out, and then you will continually receive more. So we will start in child's pose. And then you'll inhale and come up to table. You'll tuck your toes under, breathe out and come into downward facing dog. Breathe in and come to table. Breathe out and come to child's pose. Breathe in and come to child's table. Breathe out and come to downward facing dog. Breathe in table. Breathe out child's. Breathe in table. Breathe out downward facing dog. Breathe in table. Breathe out child's. Breathe in table. Breathe out downward facing dog. Breathe in table. Breathe out child's. Breathe in table. Breathe out downward facing dog. Breathe in table. Breathe out child's. We'll do one more. Breathe in table. Breathe out downward facing dog. Breathe in table. Breathe out child's. And then slowly roll up to seated. And we're going to come to a seated position to receive the teachings. Okay, before we go into the teachings for today, we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. This was a breath practice we did quite often actually through the 6 paramitas. We did it for mental clarity to recognize your basic goodness for the class on morality. We did it for the patience class as a way to cleanse and to clear suffering and overcome suffering. We did it in the class to balance your energy as well, and we did it as a way to clear for meditation. So it was one of our constant companions through the 6 Paramitas class. So for this one, I would suggest that you take your left hand and bring your thumb and index finger together, rest that on your lap, and then take your right hand, place your your index finger and your middle finger in the center of your forehead. Close your right nostril, breathe in through your left nostril. Close left, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close right, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close left, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close right, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close left, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close right, breathe out left. And continue this with your own breath rhythm. Then the next time you breathe out through your left nostril, lower your right hand down and feel the effects of this breath practice for you. So you're actually already sitting with the mudra that I'd like you to take to receive the teachings today. We're sitting with the Gyan mudra for wisdom. So you can stay like that, and you're already sitting. So you are good for receiving the teachings. So this sixth perfection, the perfection of wisdom, is the direct and intimate realization of emptiness or boundlessness. Prajna Paramita are the teachings that all phenomena are without essence. So we are basically going back to where we started at the beginning of the six perfections with Namaste Yoga 325 and the first perfection of generosity. So like we did with that Vinyasa, perfect giving according to Mahayana Buddhism transcends traditional ideas of giving with the idea of a gift giver and receiver. Giving is beyond giving. There is a belief that one cannot give anything because everything is already given. So this idea of emptying out because there's nothing to give, there's no giver, there's no receiver, there's no gift. So this is starting with the emptiness idea. The essence of the Bodhisattva path and the reason for the teachings on the six Paramitas is love and concern for others. We know that at some level, ordinary life is not working. Self and other are just positions. So at the beginning, I said that quote, this mountain, that mountain. This comes from a quote where if you climb up a mountain, you say, I'm on this mountain, I'm looking over at that mountain. That only works from your perspective. But if you climb down this mountain and go and climb up that mountain, then you're on this mountain looking over at that mountain. So if you empty out of all your identification, then there is no more this mountain and that mountain. There is no me, there is no you. It's just pure emptiness. So from this perspective, altruism is not self-sacrifice, but a recognition that self is no different from other. From this perspective, we come to see that the only way we can love ourselves is by loving others, and the only way we can love others is by loving ourselves. Prajna Paramita cannot be understood on its own, but only through all the other paramitas: generosity, morality, patience, energy, and meditation. So as I reflected back on the last 8 weeks that we've had on this topic, because we spent 3 weeks on patience, I can see that it has been a powerful exploration of the six paramitas through breath practice, energy practices, and meditation. As I said at the beginning, we began with the perfection of generosity, which is the practice of emptiness, allowing the flow of generosity when connecting, living the experience of the idea that there's no gift, giver, or receiver. From there, we moved to the second perfection of morality with yoga and breath practices that prompted clarity to remember the longer you practice, the more your practices purify you, and you recognize that there's a direct connection between your actions and the discomfort you experience physically and emotionally. You begin to realize that your yoga and meditation practice becomes easier. Your mind becomes calmer. You experience more acceptance and patience when you live a right life of right ethical conduct. As I mentioned at the beginning, this mindfulness and honesty opens you up from the inside as you develop a deeper relationship with yourself. You begin to develop a deeper sensitivity, and you recognize your own suffering and that others experience the same suffering as your conduct is naturally elevated. The third paramita, Shanti Paramita, we recognize that there are 3 kinds of hardships that we will face. Personal pain and hardship, both physical and emotional, pain caused by our personal relationships or interactions with others, and the painful truth about our life. With the perfection of energy, we recognize that we don't have to cultivate anything that's not already within us. We already possess enough energy, all the energy that we need. Through our yoga and meditation practice, we can bring awareness to the energy that we have within us and guide it with discernment and wisdom. We brought awareness to that energy through Nadi Shodhana. Finally, in the class on meditation, we practice focus concentration. Through a practice of focus, we can cut through the layers of confusion. And all of this culminates in Prajna Paramita. And I do have to admit that for me, this is a really esoteric concept, this idea of emptiness. Sometimes I'll get a glimmer of like, oh yeah, I really get that. And then other times it just seems like esoteric. So I did my best at trying to create a class around this. I think I'm probably just not advanced enough for it yet. So that's where it is at with it. So reflect on how these teachers relate to you. This idea of this mountain, that mountain, there is no I, there is no you, and how it relates to you in your life. Go ahead and form an intention of how these teachings relate to you in your life and what it is you would like to receive for the rest of the class. What is it you are trying to birth, sustain, release, or rebirth in your life right now? And then once you've formed your intention, you can start to make your way up to standing. From standing, we're going to do Tadasana, or mountain pose, for not this mountain, this mountain, that mountain. That's the quote. Okay, so take your feet underneath your hip bones, lift and spread your toes, lengthen your legs long. Reach up through your spine, draw your ears back over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips. Relax your shoulders down. So you can reflect on that quote, this mountain, that mountain, and what it means to you. Who knows, maybe it will bring you enlightenment. And then stand on your right leg, bend your right leg. And we're going to do eagle's pose. So either you can bring your feet together, bend your knees and bring your elbows together. That's a nice version of eagle. Or you can cross your left leg over your right leg, keep your toes on the ground. Bring your right arm up and hook your left arm underneath it. Bring the backs of your hands together or your palms together. Or you can hook your foot all the way around. I've got to say, this is like one of the most challenging surfaces, or I'm having a very unbalanced day. I'm not sure which it is. Okay, so I chose eagle's pose because I think eagles are generally associated with wisdom. Clear seeing. Anyway. Okay, so let's do this on the other side. So you can again either put your feet together and elbows together and squat like that. Or you can take your right leg over your left leg and keep your toes on the ground. Bring your left arm up, hook your right arm underneath. Backs of your hands together or palms together. Or you can hook your foot. And then you can let that pose out of your body, and we're going to come back down to seated for a seated twist. So sit with your legs straight out in front of you. You can bend your left leg in, cross your left leg over your right leg. And let's just do it with your bottom leg long this week. Wrap your right arm around your left leg and turn towards it. And you come into the twist. I chose this one because I thought twists are great for releasing toxins, which hopefully will lead to emptiness, the emptiness of wisdom. And then come back to the center. Reach your left leg out long. Bend your right leg in. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Wrap your left arm around your right leg and turn towards it. And then you're twisting on the other side. And then come back to the center and reach your legs out long. And then we're going to do a wide-legged seated forward fold. And you just take your legs wide, take your arms behind you, and maybe if you've got a folded blanket, you can sit up on the edge of that. That will help you tip your pelvis forward. I'm going to keep my hands behind me. That's a nice way to do a seated forward fold. For me, I know seated forward folds have always been a practice in patience, so that's why I chose the seated forward fold today. They're also very calming for the mind. Okay, and then you can release that. And before we have Savasana, we're going to do a mantra for emptiness that I chose for today. It is called the Pranjna Paramita mantra, so it's specific for this, very well chosen for this class. And I'll get Tim to put the words up on the screen because I know that creates a lot of comfort for you guys. So again, good to sit up on a meditation cushion or kneeling on a block or sitting in a chair, whichever works best for you. So the words of this mantra are Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhi Swaha. Okay? And I'll start it. It's a really simple mantra, and you can join in maybe I'll get you to time us, so we'll do it for 3 minutes. Okay. Let's use the Jana mudra again for wisdom. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgate, bodhi, swaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgati, bodhi, swaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgate, bodhi, swaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgate, bodhi, swaha. Gate, gate, para, sagate, bodhi, para, samgate, bodhi, swaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, 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 para, samgate, bodhi, swaha. So this mantra represents a class of the Mahayana scriptures known as the Paramita, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras. And these include famous teachings such as the Heart Sutra and the Diamond Sutra. And the words literally mean gone, gone, gone beyond, gone utterly beyond, enlightenment hail. Okay, so I'm going to get you to rest back for Shavasana now. And since you have your bolster, I would recommend that you put your bolster underneath your knees for Shavasana. So you'll stay resting back in Savasana, and I'm going to finish out this class in this series with a reading. So this is the last walk through the quote of this mountain, that mountain. I really hope that that quote is working for you on some level. This mountain, that mountain. What mountain? Self and other are relative terms, rather like this mountain and that mountain. This and that, therefore, depend on our point of reference. This is also true of self and other. By climbing down the mountain of self, it is possible to ascend the mountain of other, and thereby cherish others as much as we cherish ourselves. If I am standing on a mountain in the west and looking at one in the east, the mountain I am standing on is this mountain. And the one over there really seems to be that mountain. No two ways about it. It really feels like it, as if it is inherently or intrinsically this mountain. However, if I walk down the mountain in the west and up the mountain in the east, what happens? This shows that this mountain and that mountain are entirely relative, depending entirely on our perspective, not absolute truths that have a reality unto themselves, independent of perception. If this mountain was real, existing from its own side, it remained this mountain even when I moved. This is the same for self and other. They are relative truths, not real or absolute truths, not independent of the mind, but entirely dependent on our perceptions. If I walk down the mountain of self and up the mountain of other becomes self, and looking back at my previous self, it now feels like other. So I think you get it. I'm not even going to try and explain it. This is what happens with trying to explain emptiness. It can only be understood through your direct perception. And so I think that's where I find I get into trouble trying to explain it. It's like, I'll just leave it to your own understanding and direct experience. So take a moment now to reflect back on the last 6 months, if you can. Going all the way back to before the year started in December, when we started this series with the Awakening Your True Self series. We looked at the 5 hindrances, we've done the 6 perfections, and the first part of the series, I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but it had like joy, compassion, equanimity. You guys will remember what it was for me. They were very uplifting qualities of Buddhism. So when you reflect back on all of that, what stands out and what seems most important? What is it that you want to carry with you off your mat and into your life? And then begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Allow your breath to deepen. Bend your knees. Roll to your side. Pause and take a breath there. And slowly make your way up to seated. So thank you so much for joining me for episode 332 of Namaste Yoga. We'll finish by gathering in the fruits of our practice first to ourselves and then offering it out into the world. So that's that emptiness and freedom of generosity, the flow of generosity. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So if you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to our channel, we put out a new show every Friday, so you can subscribe and you'll receive a free show every Friday. And if you know somebody who would benefit from today's show, then please feel free to share it with them. I want to thank you for your donations. Malka, Joshua, Eva, Peggy, Richard, Leah, Janet, Donna, and Hannah. And I also want to thank all of you who have donated to our epic video campaign to help us get a drone and a gimbal. Tim and I have been just completely overwhelmed by your generosity and your response. I've just got a little testimonial here from one of you. It's from Jan. Jan said, I just made a $100 contribution to your fundraising for new equipment. That's a big deal for me because I'm super frugal and careful how I spend money. And we agree, $100 is a really big deal. That's a lot of money. What I figured is that I've enjoyed your weekly free yoga videos and didn't subscribe to your membership videos. The money I saved by not subscribing, I thought I'd give you some of that now. So good luck. So your generosity, as I said, has bowled us over, and we are incredibly excited. I just keep watching that water. It's getting really close now. To create some new content with these tools. Not new. We're incredibly excited what we can do with these tools. It's going to be really, I think, going to change the way we can, like here, can you imagine what we would have been able to show here from an aerial perspective? And for those of you who watch my vlogs, it's just going to allow me to give you much smoother, more stable video footage. Like yesterday we were on a hike and I could have just filmed so much more. That's what you want, is longer vlogs, but we'll just be able to give you more meaningful context. And even here on the show, the gimbal, which is a stabilizer, will allow Tim to have a second camera going too. So really thank you so much for your support. So today, the question to answer, so you can donate here to our show. And if you would like to make a contribution, it's down here. If you would like to make a contribution that's not financial, you can also leave a comment or just like the show. That also helps us. So the question for the comments today is, what was your big takeaway from the Awakening Your True Self series? As I said, we just started back on December the 11th in 2015, which was 23 classes ago, a whole 6 months ago. So I would love to know what was your highlight from this whole series. And I have a gift here for you today. The intention behind cultivating the 6 perfections is for the development of compassion. And if you would like in an infographic of 4 easy and practical ways to incorporate compassion into your life, then go to melissawest.com/332, put your email in the opt-in box, and I will send you an infographic as my gift to you from this class. And then I think the best way to cultivate wisdom is through a daily meditation practice. And we have loads of tools for this in our membership community. We have an introduction to meditation series, which has a short yoga class that prepares you for sitting, shows you all the different seated positions for meditation. It teaches you how to be with your breath and how to be with your thoughts. I've recently added guided 6-minute, 12-minute, and 24-minute shamatha meditations, which is a meditation practice that teaches you focus and concentration, similar to what we did last week. And then we also have over 50 guided meditations in our community. Our book club is also reading a book right now that is about meditation as well. So if you go here below too, there's a link on how to become a member. I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as rooted as the trees in our forests, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.